On this episode of BTV, we talk about the lack of custodians here at Southeast, North High's new mascot, and the overwhelming support the Tri-County team has received during their recent game. All of this and more on this episode of BTV. Welcome back to this episode of BTV. I'm your anchor, Noah Bierig. Have you noticed that some areas of the school have looked a little more dirty than usual? Reporter Ryan Newby tells us why that is.
This year, some teachers have noticed that their classrooms have been a little dirtier than usual.
The carpets didn't get done, the trash didn't go out, the hallways weren't always picked up, and the bathrooms got to be really a mess. I don't want to say anything bad about our custodian team because we have some really great custodians here and they work very hard. And it's not, you can't put it on them, the fact that there's not enough people in the building to do their job correctly.
The root of this problem comes from overpopulation and a custodian shortage.
Well, ever since the pandemic started, we've been short 2, maybe 3 custodians every day for like the last 2 years. And the increase of students, that makes it much harder to keep the classrooms clean.
Unfortunately, efforts to regain custodians to alleviate the workload have been unsuccessful.
Nobody's applying for the jobs. It's not like we're not trying to hire anybody. It's just nobody's applying for the positions that we have. Some of my guys had to do overtime. And we've also tried to inquire an outside company to come in and help as well. So that's helping out a little bit.
In response to this problem, teachers have had to adapt in several ways to keep their rooms clean.
I went out and bought a vacuum cleaner and came a little earlier, and kind of cleaned my classroom. I mean, if I don't do it, nobody will, and it had to be cleaned.
Due to the struggles the custodians have been facing, it's important that we do our best to help them.
Yeah, in the classrooms, if they have the trash cans closer to the doors, try to put the chairs up on the tables toward the end of the day. Whatever your last class is, try to have the chairs put up, and that's about it.
Hopefully we can get more custodians to help keep our classrooms clean. For BTV, I'm Ryan Newby.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's do our best to help Ira and the custodians. Buff Blitz, an open house for 8th graders, looks a little bit different this year. It was combined with conferences in another new event. Reporter Citlali Martinez was there.
School administration decided to schedule multiple events on the first day of conferences, February 13th.
We're combining parent-teacher conferences this year with a few other things to try to capitalize on parents being in the building, getting them in the building for multiple reasons to hopefully increase the number of access points that we have.
Buff Blitz is where students and parents can learn more about the school's clubs and what they have to offer.
So Medical Club is basically a club where we help our members help them find an easier pathway into their dream medical field. So if they want to become doctors, we'll make that easier for them, because we want to make them stand out for colleges, for all these other things. We want to make them stand out. So, they're they come out of high school the best person they can be in order to fit that job that we're preparing them for.
The Buff Pride Club is basically a club where everyone is included. Even if you aren't part of the LGBTQ, you'll always have a safe space to go to with friends, and sometimes they can grow into your family.
The resource fair that was paired with Buff Blitz is an environment where students and their families can get information about programs, activities, and awareness in our community.
It's a great one-stop shop for our parents and our students to get information, connecting with their classroom teachers and with the resources in our community, as well as planning for their future.
I really believe it's a good thing to have the resource fair and the clubs out here, because I didn't know anything about it and she didn't either. So it gave us the chance to see all of the clubs and resources the school has to offer.
Since this year is kind of a test run, we'll see what happens afterwards. We haven't had parent-teacher conferences attended real well, so we're hoping by combining a few things, it will get a few more people in the door.
Thanks, Citlali. North High School has recently changed their mascot. Reporter Christy Dung tells us what the new one is and how it affects the school's community.
In December, Wichita North High School's mascot changed from Redskins to Red Hawks. The previous mascot had been at North for nearly 100 years. It was a lengthy process since they needed to find one that would fit the school for the next 100 years.
It's been about a 3-year process since we removed the name, the former mascot. And the process that we went through was first off, we removed the first mascot. Then it became time for alums, students, community to give suggestions. Once that time was over, we took the top basically 4.
Teachers at North High handpicked students to be a part of the student leadership group to determine the new mascot.
It was a 2-week planning process for when we were going to come in, and then it was like 2 weeks of coming in each morning and at lunch and picking and going through and then arguing why it was good and being prepared for comments.
We had to say how it was connected to the school. We had to find a way to connect it. We had to basically just justify why this should be a name, why it's valid.
The students are glad they were able to move on from a derogatory name.
We really focused on nobody was allowed to use our mascot in a mocking way.
Back then they seen it as an honoring thing, but now that times have changed, it's going to have to change. So I think the change was good. It's just sad because of the tradition connection.
But some alumni say the name isn't derogatory, but is actually a celebration of Native American culture.
Everybody embraced it. We actually had powwows, and we actually had Native Americans come in and do dances for us in the old gym.
This change will take some time to get used to.
I just feel like they kind of just put red in front of something and kept it.
I think it's going to take some time. It's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off again. Some people were really upset when it officially became our new mascot. People were then again upset a little bit.
With the new mascot, it will take some time for all reminders of the old mascot to be removed and replaced.
We will be phasing out the drum and feather. That was one thing we were asked to not use anymore. And it's not going to happen immediately. It'll be kind of over that course of 2 to 5 years probably before we really start seeing some of that stuff phase out.
Even though the mascot is gone, people say that's not the most important thing about the school.
Well, a name is just a name. The culture is what makes a school.
For BTV, I'm Christy Dong.
Thanks, Christy. On this segment of Have You Heard, Ethan asks you Buffs what's your opinion on some hard-hitting questions.
On the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has the international community done enough to dissuade Russia from expanding their aggression to other neighboring countries?
Has what? What? Wait, what did you ask?
So China has recently called for a ceasefire in the Ukraine and Russia conflict. Is this a serious call to the action as a part of a political posturing in the wake of negative impacts of the recent spy balloon? On the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has the international community has done enough to dissuade Russia from expanding their aggression to other neighboring countries?
I don't know. I don't pay attention in history.
Okay, and then on the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has the international community done enough to dissuade Russia from expanding their aggression to other neighboring countries? So on the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has the international community done enough to dissuade Russia from expanding their aggression to other neighboring countries?
No, because I don't know what to say. I think we've done a lot so far. There's a lot of aid that's been given, but from what I've seen is Ukraine's winning. I also hear from other sources that Russia's winning, so I think we might have to wait for the rest of this year to play out to see what's really going on.
Okay, and then I have to ask you, do you like Taco Bell?
I love Taco Bell. Taco Bell is my life.
Thank you.
These are good questions.
So, Arby's is bringing back their fish sandwiches. Are you hyped for that?
No, because it's the We Got the Meats.
What? So, Arby's is bringing back their fish sandwiches. Are you hyped for that?
Of course you asked me that question.
Arby's is bringing back their fish sandwiches. Are you hyped for that?
Not really.
Okay, thank you.
What? Why did I get that question?
Can I put that up on that?
Of course.
Okay.
On February 23rd, Stuco held its second blood drive this year. Something new this year was the medical club helped out as they are taking over next year. Also Varsity Choir had their performance on February 21st at Century 2. Selected choir students got the opportunity to perform with other high schoolers within our district. They also performed with the All-City Middle School students for their final song of the evening. The Forensic team placed in the top 10 at their tournament in Andover on February 24th. Sienna Cope won 1 medal and Joey Chapman won 2 medals. Congrats, Buffs! If you haven't heard, Mr. Mitchell will not be returning as principal next year, and they have already announced his replacement. Claudia Cooper will be next year's principal. She is currently one of the assistant principals at East High School, and she's a Southeast graduate. We'll have more on this in an upcoming episode. For now, we'll go to William Sandlin with the sports.
Welcome back to the Sportscast. I'm your sports anchor, William Sandlin, and let's get straight on into the highlights. Boys basketball ends their season with an 8-13 record. In their last 2 regular season games, they lost to South 61-38 and East 56-46. At the Sub-State versus Manhattan, the boys trailed for most of the game, but caught up in the 4th quarter, but unfortunately lost to a buzzer beater, losing 59-57. Girls basketball is currently 15-6. They lost to South in a close game, 49-46, but came back the next week to beat East 55-51. Leela Jones had 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. At the Sub-State versus Dodge City, they won 38-32. They will play Liberal on March 4th to determine if they will make it to the state tournament. Tri-County had a game versus Dunlap on February 24th. They lost 32-31. Their next game will be here versus East on March 3rd. Tri-County has been getting a lot of support recently. In fact, Southeast recently held an all-school assembly for their game against West. Here's a story of what may become a tradition here at Southeast.
Good. Come here, go. Good. Zach, I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
Mom.
The Tri-County team has been playing well this year, and people wanted to find a way to honor them. On February 10th, Southeast rearranged the normal bell schedule so that the whole school could come and support the team.
It's important to show support for all of our groups here. So we try to show up for wrestling and basketball and football and all our sports, and they're one of our sports teams, so we got to support them as well.
Mr. Noonan was the person who came up with the idea of an all-school assembly to watch them play. He took the idea to the principal, Mr. Mitchell, who thought it was a great idea. Tri-County is a sports team here at Southeast that allows special needs students to play in competitive sports. They currently play soccer in the fall and basketball in the winter.
Tri-County is a league developed to give equal opportunity to some of our students that may not have the same opportunity in varsity athletics. But this is another opportunity for them to letter and be engaged and be in the community and still be a part of athletics here at Southeast.
The players are grateful to be able to play, but even more grateful that the whole school is there to watch them play.
It's fun. I just like the fans, the core, support me, and you guys. I love it. Exciting. Happy, family come, support me.
Yeah, make us play hard and make us amazing. We dance all the time, everybody laughs and cheer.
Overall, the game was very successful. The bleachers were packed and the support was amazing.
I cannot thank you guys enough, and I can't thank all the support from the staff, from admin, all the way down to the student support system and everyone else here. Thank you every single person for helping us out, because these kids love it, and seeing them love it makes my day even a little bit better. On 3, 1, 2, 3, 4!
Hopefully, this will lead to more opportunities in the future.
We're starting to see events like this kind of come at Keisha. So that they have what's called unified bowling. They've talked about unified track as well. So it is expanding. The Special Olympics is doing some great work with Keisha and trying to get some more events like this at our high schools.
How's it going, my guy? Hey, y'all did great out there. I love that performance by y'all.
Even after a loss, the players felt thrilled about the outcome.
It's powerful. It's like, I just want this assembly to happen again and again for our home games, so everybody can come and be really happy.
I'm proud of you guys, all right? No matter if we won or lost, I'm very proud of you. Enjoy the moment, enjoy this atmosphere, and continue to have fun. Our season's not done yet, all right? We can still come back at the end of the year in the tournament.
For BTV, I'm William Sandlin.
At regionals at Topeka Washburn, Natavius Matthews placed 6th and Cervante Williams placed 7th. They qualified for state. At state at Hartman Arena, they both competed well. Natavius Matthews won 1 of his 3 matches. The girls wrestling team took 3 girls to state at Hartman Arena. Tanea Hunt and Kyra Cole fought their hardest, and Olivia Wilson placed 6th. This is the first female in Southeast history to place at state. The swim team headed to Shawnee Mission Aquatic Center for state. Kaden Blyer placed 25th in the 50-yard freestyle and 30th in the 100-yard freestyle. On the diving side, Henry Hover placed 26th in the prelims. Jeremy Johnson placed 16th in the prelims, qualifying him for the semifinals, where he placed 18th. On February 24th, Kaden Blyer signed with William Jewell College in Liberty, Missouri to continue his swimming and academic career. Congrats and good luck, Kaden. At regionals for bowling, 2 bowlers qualified for state, Eric Torres and Alyssa Brantley. On the boys' side, they placed 9th overall. Eric Torres bowled a 6.18 to get 11th, and the girls placed 11th as a team. Alyssa Brantley bowled a 5.11 to clinch the last qualifying spot for state. That's all for the Sportscast. Stay tuned for the next episode where we see how the spring sports are shaping up. But for now, back to you, Noah.
Thanks, William. We'll leave you with some sights and sounds from the All-City Choir concert. See you next time, Buffs.